Salutations, this is Grim Devel. Welcome back to our Let's Play of The Longing. What place shall I visit today? Well, it looks like we've come back, sometime later. Looks like about 5 days later, and, there are no gold coins in this well. Which is disappointing. I feel like I should get a disappointment for that. But that was part of our... We thought that may be the case, although I am disappointed. I wonder, I guess this means we should maybe use our Maddox on that glass in the treasure room. That's pretty crazy. So we're going to spend some extra time, I think, this episode in this area, just kind of poking around a little more than we did. We're still missing a disappointment, I believe, to be able to get one of the clues. And that's... not finding it here, as at least as far as I can tell, not finding it here is concerning. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it. Like, it makes me think that maybe I just legitimately missed an opportunity to find a disappointment somewhere, like anywhere in the game. It's going to be really hard to figure out where that might have been. So I'm going to go back up here a little bit, just in case we missed a disappointment. Because it's going to take more than an episode to get back to, like, our base. But I think that is where we're headed. We're going to go back to our lair. Also, someone pointed something out to me. Yeah, what a tragedy. But I want a disappointment. Yeah, we're not getting one. Someone pointed something out to me. Or made a connection. Gave me a good hint regarding the well. And all the hint was remember the hallucinations or something like that. Remember the dreams. And that got me thinking, oh, right. In the dreams, we see a spider or some kind of bug jump out of the well onto that little kid. And that makes me think maybe our way out of here is to bring a spider. And I think I did mention this last episode, that maybe we needed to get a spider. But I think that's just more evidence that a spider may, in fact, be what we need to get into the well to be able to climb out. Because we have seen a spider come out of the well in a dreamscape. So I guess we're just going to go back. We can build a bed, so that's new. And we're going to do that. And I guess we can try to get treasure. I'm somewhat reluctant to try to use both of our Maddox. Because then we won't be able to Maddox anything else. And who knows what else is in the game that we may have to find. But... then again, maybe that's exactly what you need. Maybe you need to take that risk. Use all of your Maddox on the glass, on the seemingly impenetrable glass. And maybe two Maddox break and the third one does the trick. And you can get some coins. Maybe? Don't know. But because, there's nothing in the well, and that was my initial thought. I think we're going to have to try it. Right now, we can't think of another use for our Maddox. And the fact that there was one up here, past the point where I think you need a Maddox to get to this point, I believe. So that there's a Maddox up here makes me think maybe we do need to use another Maddox. I wonder what would have happened if I tried to use a Maddox again on the glass, like the second Maddox. Would it let me break the Maddox, or would Little Shade be like, oh no. Oh, Cole. Oh no, I'm not going to... let me head towards where that sand is, right? Right there. Or just the softer ground. Would the Shade stop me and be like, oh, I don't want to break another Maddox, Like maybe there's a mechanic in the game that prevents you. I think we're going to find out one way or another. I'm told there are a couple of secrets in this game that we may not get because they're difficult to find, or not even difficult, but just kind of like it doesn't make sense. Like there's not like a puzzle that you're gonna it makes sense to figure out. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe we'll definitely check the journal when we get back. And unfortunately, we only have where there are two clues that we don't have from the face, and they might give us some answers, some insight into what those secrets might be. Some secret locations that you can find, but I just don't know unless we have some kind of in-game hint. I am the kind of guy that I am sort of a completionist. I want to in video games that I'm not recording, probably even some that I do. I tend to like search every nook and cranny over and over and over again until I can get. I'm sure that I can find everything there is to find. But this game's a bit different. It's just because it takes so long to do stuff like that. I mean, case in point, this episode is mostly just going to be us walking in the darkness. And that's what you signed up for. That's what it is. So I don't have any planned topics. The only thing I keep thinking about, and I might get in trouble here for talking about this. I mean, in trouble. I'm not really going to get in trouble. But some people might not like me talking about politics so much. But it's just so hard not to. And I talk about politics on my channel. I've got that like a video on that's like the main video when you go to my channel page about racism, which isn't about politics. That was just about racism. But just posting that video that was just supposed to be like an anti-racist video, I got a lot of angry people. People posting a lot of angry comments and a lot of arguments that I tried my best to engage in civil discourse. But if someone, if someone's not going to be civil, I'm just going to shut them down. And even with civil discourse, there's a certain point where just like if someone's just regurgitating the same arguments over and over again and not listening to what you're saying, even though you've addressed the same arguments that they're regurgitating over and over again without their addressing how you addressed it, like you're kind of done arguing. And that stuff just gets us. We live in. I mean, politics are always divisive. It's not like they've never. It's not like they haven't always been divisive. But in this country right now, certainly for as long as I've been alive, it hasn't been as bad as it's been ever. And so I'm going to talk about it. And if you don't like my opinion, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to agree with me to enjoy these videos. But if you, if you really disagree with me and you want to protest by not watching my channel, fine. That's fine. Go ahead. I don't really want you here. So I'm going to talk about it a bit just because it's so heavy on my heart. And I want to talk about it because I feel like the political situation in this country, in the United States, has been very, very difficult, emotionally, psychologically difficult for me, and I imagine for many, many others. There's a lot of evidence that this is the case for many, many others. In 2016, it's not, when Trump was elected, a lot of people chalked it up to like, oh, it's just because people didn't come out to vote, or because Bernie Sanders siphoned off the progressives who didn't want to vote for Hillary, et cetera, et cetera. And I was pretty rabidly anti-Trump in 2016. I'm a progressive. I'm politically a progressive, and when I say that, I just mean like my genuine belief is that progressive policies are the best policies for the country economically, socially, um, psychologically. That's just what I genuinely believe. And I'm willing to have a good faith discussion with someone that disagrees about that. Um, people that believe in that sway towards more pure free market capitalism, and that anything with that can be labeled socialism is anathema to them. Like I happy to have those arguments and those discussions. Those are healthy discussions to have. I'm just explaining this because, like, I just want you to know that, like, those are my politics. That's what I genuinely believe is best for the country. Sorry, now I want to listen for the pitter pats that are different. Not hearing them. Maybe we'll keep going this way. I'm listening very closely. Oh, there you go. This part right here really boggles me. There's got to be something about this. Like, this has to be some kind of weird secret thing, right? Because this is a giant hallway, and this is the one little piece of it that sounds different. I'm just going to inch along. It's really interesting. Come on. Something happened. Like, maybe it's like the mine where, like, stuff falls out from under you. I think we've stopped on this piece of ground before and, like, called it an episode here without anything really happening. Oh! There's a fork in the road. It seems to be an alternative way to the top. Oh my gosh, I was right. Can we go up here? Is this different? Are we going up? I was talking about politics and stuff, and I was kind of on a roll, and then the game, as it should, distracted me here. This is very exciting. A fork in the road. 22 days, 22 hours. Pretty exciting. All right, well, we'll keep going here. Hopefully we're going on the fork. It's hard to tell. Oh, yeah, this is good. Good. I just got an achievement that says The Cave. We are in a cave, apparently. And you could hear like a little drip, right? We need some light, please. Wish I had a mushroom. You can kind of see a little more of our face. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Oh. So anyway, back in 2016, I was I have friends that are Republican, and when I say they're Republican, I just mean they're conservative. They genuinely believe that the best policies, the best governmental policies for this country are more conservative. Some of them believe in less spending. Some of them believe genuinely believe in trickle-down economics. And even though I adamantly disagree with them, whoa. What is this? Another living being? It seems to be sleeping. Oh, wow. I'm really happy that I found this. I had no idea. No one gave me any hints about this. Another Matic. 3 Matics we have. Maybe it was his biggest dream to be a unicorn one day. It didn't work. Oh, that's a stalagmite? Stalactite. Or I guess if it's fallen, maybe it's a stalagmite. I don't know what it is. That fell into his skull. Wow. That is amazing. So there's a Matic here. Oh, and there are more stairs. I wonder who that was. I wonder if that's someone we've seen in a dream. Oh, wow. Um, and this is all just a way of explaining that I really, if any other Republican or person running on the Republican ticket had won, I would have just been like, okay, I can endure 4 or 8 years of this, and we'll have debates about what the best thing is, um, and life goes on as I've done before. Um, and when Donald Trump looked like he was going to win the Republican primary, I was telling all of my friends, or really anyone that would listen, that if they were Republican, to vote for Ted Cruz. And I say this because I loathe Ted Cruz. I loathe him. Like, every policy of his is antithetical to what I believe. Not only that, I genuinely dislike him as a person. I think he's a giant hypocrite. And that's all to say, like, I would have preferred 1,000 times over Ted Cruz to Donald Trump, because I, like a lot of other people. I think we can keep going for a little bit here. Another bookshelf. I don't want to win, but I don't think this is a victory here. So this is just a big tree house that a tower house. Oh, there's a crystal. Oh, wow. Something feels odd about this cave. Secret tower. Achievement unlocked. Secret tower. I swear no one told me about this. No one gave me hints about this. Nothing. No, go to the bookcase. Um, and in Donald Trump, I immediately saw just traits that the never-ending notebook. I don't know. The former owner of this book can't make use of it anymore. I feel no guilt in taking it with me. You don't know that the former owner can't make use. Unless the owner was that skeleton with the stalactite. Look at these bones coming out of this cage. Let's go over to the right here, if we can. Okay. We're hiding. Oh, this is so cool. I saw in Trump the same things that I just like anyone that has taken just basic world history. You clearly see that Trump has the same qualities and that fascists have. And that was you could see that in 2016. Oh, we just took that. Okay, this will look better in my home. What is this contraption up here? I feel like I have a lot to say about politics and then the situation right now, and I'm only just barely touching on this, and I'm only going to be able to touch on it. But maybe there's no way out. Whoever lived here made sure of that. Wow. But we'll probably continue this conversation in future episodes. A stork is making a nest up there, it seems. I don't like storks. What's... Oh, are these bones? And it makes bone meal? Yeah, we'll let it zoom out here. Someone was grinding bones into bone meal, it seems. We're going to let the zoom out. Wow. Still zooming. And when he was elected, I mean, I feel like my heart just sank that day and never really got back. Like I thought I thought that the people in this country were different, would be able to recognize the same thing I recognized. and all you hear, you see stuff about like people, whenever I like bring this up about like how similar Trump is, how he says the same things that like Hitler said and stuff like that, people always are like, think I'm being ridiculous. Oh my, okay, the game froze a little bit. It's still zooming out slowly. Um, and say, thinking that like, oh, a comparison of Donald Trump to, just Hitler because he's the most obvious example, most just available example, is ridiculous because Trump's not targeting Jews. Yeah, he's not rounding people up and putting them in concentration camps. Um, it's just not the same situation. But you know, every everyone's different. I know. I don't want to. I don't want to make this about whether or not Trump is a fascist or a wannabe fascist. Like, what I really just want to talk about is just personally how difficult this presidency has been. I think it zoomed out as much as possible. Actually, I'm not sure. It's kind of like the map when that just kept zooming out. Might be all zoomed out here. Right. Can I do anything with this bone meal? I don't think so, which is really disappointing. What am I supposed to do with that stork? Or not stork, but that stork nest. Huh. Oh. No, I think it's just zooming back in, or I'm looking out a window, maybe? I think I'm looking out a window. Or maybe it's just zooming back in on me. Okay. Man, all right, well, we're going to save this place. I suppose here. I think. Actually, maybe here. Yeah, right here. All right. A little disappointed that there's not more than just a mattock. Go home. Like, what was all this about? What was that? Hold on. Did it quickly say something? Just use ladder, is that all it said? I wish I could do something with those bones. So, just personally, like, the past 4 years have been, and I think a lot of it has to do with the political situation, have been really depressing. Like, and I don't think I'm the only one that feels this way. And this is just personally what I feel. I'm not saying like everyone should feel this way. I don't want to, I'm not trying to, this isn't me trying to convince you that Trump is a terrible person or a monster. I'm just telling you how I feel and what I think and why that's significant. It, because of this, like this president has been extremely divisive, where like no other president has, and not accidentally. Like it seems to be a political tactic, where he tries to vilify his enemies. He talks about Democrats, in a hostile way, in a way that says like Democrats are bad, Democrats are an enemy. He vilifies Democrats, and as someone who is a member of the Democratic Party for whatever reason, like basically like this is someone who declares me to be an enemy of him. Like the president of the United States has declared me an enemy. And then you have so many people fervently supporting everything that he does and says. This person who has declared me his enemy. And that's just me. Like, and I'm just that's just from what he says about Democrats. Like, let alone the coded language that he uses about other groups. Like, I'm. What is this hole? This has to be something, right? Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Go home. Go home, little shade. Um, yeah, I would hope we would have found a disappointment here in this cave, but I guess not. I guess it's just a weird secret with a weird bone meal grinder and a stork nest. Um, I feel like some days I wake up and um, I'm just so depressed because I just don't want to be in this country anymore. Like, I'm genuinely afraid for the future of the world because of the state of this country and what's happened to it in the past 4 years. Um, and as someone who grew up really loving this country, uh, you know, excitedly, when you're a kid, you kind of excitedly like recite the Pledge of Allegiance and wave the flag and sing patriotic songs, and you have an idea of what that means and what that stands for. Um, and I thought it meant um, freedom and equality, and everyone uh, like, and it just meant something that is the complete opposite of what Donald Trump and the people that support him seem to think that America should be and should be about. And it's not just a difference of like, oh, how this country should be governed. It's a difference of the very like soul of what this country is, um, and you can't have arguments with people that disagree. It seems that's interesting up here, right? What is this? Can I get up there? I guess not. Um, that looks like something though. Um, I'm not being very eloquent. I thought this would be a lot more eloquent than it is, but it is what it is. I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it like profoundly affects me every day, and I feel like people that I've been friends with since I was a little kid, I that this current political situation and this president, um, and their support of him has ended our friendships. It's never happened before. Like, I'm a pretty I like to think that I'm a pretty open guy, that I'm um, a tolerant person. But I honestly genuinely feel like if I were, and again taking this to its hyperbolic place because this was not that long ago and this really happened. If I was in Nazi Germany and the um, people were supporting Adolf Hitler for chancellor, um, and I was like, do you not see like what he wrote in Mein Kampf? Do you not see like what he's proposing we do? Do you not see like the way he divides us? Um, and if people just being like, oh, but the economy is good, like you're being ridiculous. Um, I mean, that's what people did. Like, people said that the detractors were, um, I mean, basically buying into Hitler's propaganda and saying like, oh, the detractors were socialists or communists and um, and bad for the country. And that, all the plays out of that playbook are just back. And I feel like, I mean, this is not Nazi Germany. It every situation's different, but I feel like where this country is has like the doorway that this country has passed through. We're like is a dangerous one. The country has changed into something else. Um, the some kind of chemical reaction has happened, and there's no going back from this. And it's like an us versus them mentality that is being nurtured. Um, it's being nurtured by one side, and the other side is basically saying, look, if you genuinely feel that way, then like I have to be against you. Because if I was in Nazi Germany, like, God, I pray, I hope that, even if it meant my life, I would be trying to stand against what was happening there politically. Although they would have killed me because I was a Jew. But again, that's just why, like, that's why it's so important. Like, never again is supposed to not just mean like, oh, if this identical thing happens. It means like, no, notice the signs that it's happening and prevent it from happening. And when you're in the situation and you have these conversations with people, you realize there's nothing you can do. Like, these people have made up their minds and they will not change. And they look at me and they think the same thing, that I won't change my mind, that I'm being stubborn, or really that, to quote someone that just commented on my anti-racism post, that I've drank the Kool-Aid, that I've bought this con that the mainstream media has sold me, but it's just not true. I get my news from many different sources. The vilification of the mainstream of the media is one of the plays out of Hitler's playbook, and uh, disagree with me, fine, but don't tell me that my problem is that I'm gullible. Not unless you have actual evidence, and then when I counter your evidence with better evidence, or say like, oh, your evidence is anecdotal, or this is a straw man argument, come back to me with a real non-fallacious argument. But people don't. People are not going to do that, and it just makes me very, very sad and weary all the time, and it just gets worse every day these past 4 years. And that's all just to say that this election means so much. Even if Trump loses, like, and by when I say if he loses, I mean like without a doubt loses, and he like he loses so badly that he has no choice but to see the presidency, then like there is no chance that he wouldn't be able to say that there was voter fraud, which is a ridiculous argument. Then I still have fear that this country has transformed into something that it cannot go back from. And every day I think we may not have a choice. My wife and I might just have to leave this country and go somewhere else. And I wonder how many other people feel that same way, and how many other people feel the same weight, the same, like, I don't know, for trauma even, and don't know how to express that, or don't realize what it is. It's genuinely difficult and sad. I'm I'm losing friends. I can't even listen to people support him anymore in the arguments that they make, and the rhetoric, and the repetition of lies. And you can't point these things out because they just shut you out. I'm being really pessimistic right now, I know, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm talking to you about this just because, like, it's on my heart a lot, all the time. And it's hard to talk about because you don't know how people are going to react. You don't know if you're going to lose another friend. And you come with me this far. You're here on my channel. If you want to, again, people get upset. If you want to leave, you can leave. I don't care. But it's good to talk about these things with you. Even if you're not in this country, I'm sure you see what's going on. And it's certainly not just something that's going on in this country. Like, it's this kind of populism has been growing in other countries too. I mean, it's a big part of what's been going on with Brexit. Um, but it's been a special situation here. Trump is in the hospital right now with COVID-19, and I don't wish anyone uh, illness or death. I don't. Um, I hope Trump recovers so that we can beat him in the election fairly, and and that he would step down once that happens. But to be completely honest, like there's a part of his catching the coronavirus that feels like a relief, not because like, oh, it's good that this has happened to him, or because I wish badly on him, but it's almost like there's this sense of, he spent the last 4 years doing and saying whatever he wanted without consequence. And this feels like a reminder that sometimes bad things do happen to bad people. Sometimes like chickens do come home to roost. Sometimes you can't just do and say whatever you want without consequences. Sometimes there are consequences. And it was his getting coronavirus was not good. I don't wish him ill, but it was a reminder that can happen, that sometimes God does that. And a reminder that the world sometimes works that way was made it easier to breathe. And I hope you don't take that the wrong way. Like, I know a lot of people are saying some really terrible things about Donald Trump right now, and I understand why they're saying it, because he's a cruel man. He's a cruel man, and a sociopath, and I understand why people wish him ill, but I don't want him to be a martyr. I sure don't want that. I want him to recover, and I want to get him out of office. But it was refreshing to see that he's not always Teflon Don. Sometimes bad things do happen to him when he does something careless, like doesn't wear a mask to prove how whatever manly he is or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, this episode's been going on a really long time, and I was planning on most of it being this walk in the dark, but we're going to continue next episode. I'm going to put a cut in here. We may continue talking about politics. I'm not sure. It's going to be a little bit. This is just episode 1 of 3 this week, so I'm not going to be getting your feedback for a little bit. But we're going to be heading back. We're going to be building our bed. Probably next episode we'll get started on that. Still no disappointment, but we have mini Maddox, so that's fun. I enjoyed playing with you today, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.